I would also come up to pilot season in Los Angeles for like 3 to 2 months out of the year.
Really? When did you start doing that?
Maybe 8th grade, freshman year or 8th
Wow.
grade. Yeah.
So your mom brought everybody with, or
No,
just you?
So that's
At that point, it was just you left.
Or Corey, myself and my younger sister. And sometimes it wasn't my mom. Sometimes it was my aunt, or as I got older, sometimes I think it was my older sister watched me a couple of times.
Did you say at Oakwood?
I did. Oakwood Apartments. That's why I know every kid around my age. As any Disney show, I hung out with them.
Do you know Holly Hirsch?
I mean, they were probably around when I know the name. I don't know them personally.
It's a girl. She's lovely. I met her in improv, and she lived at Oakwoods, and she said it was wonderful. She had a blast.
Every kid under the sun was there. So the craziest thing was they had a class. They had a school.
Yeah,
it's called the Oakwood School.
Have you watched the documentary?
Yeah, it's not as crazy as it was back when I was there. It's like a tamer. It was nuts.
Oh, you think that's tame?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was back when. I mean, I'm telling you, everyone under the sun, like. I mean, and even if they didn't go there, like they would hang out at the Oakwood. So like back then, like, you know, when shows were like Lizzie McGuire or you just hung out at the Oakwood Apartments. Like that was the thing to do. It was like you hung out by the pool, you hung in the north and south, whatever the clubhouses, whatever they're called. And it was just like a weird thing. It was, I can't tell you how many, like, I mean, so many faces I remember from there, but I don't remember them. I mean, there was just tons of kids.
I had Holly on like 4 or 5 years ago, very early on. She used to say you guys would walk up the back of Griffith Park and like make out up there.
Kids would, yeah. You
were too shy. You were.
No, I was when I was younger, I wasn't girl crazy yet, or I was just more into like video games or I used to play basketball all the time. Like that's just
NBA
what we
jams
did.
or whatever?
No, on the Oakwood courts. Like we would just play basketball with like kids, like young, and we would play for hours. We played till
awesome.
it was a blessing because it was sometimes you get bored there. But another thing you do, you'd run around and mess around with one of my like favorite memories, and it's terrible because like I'm so glad no one ever got hurt. But what we used to do is there's a film school, I want to say it's the NY Film Academy. There's
NYU,
and that they have like a small program out here. They put them all up at the Oakwood Apartments. So there's always college kids running around, walking around with books or whatever, things like that. And they'd go in like huge groups. And we would go on the top. The Oakwood Apartments has buildings A through Z. So there's all sorts of buildings, and it's a huge complex for people who don't know what it's talking about. It's massive. They have 2 clubhouses, 2 pools, everything. It's massive. And we would go buy at the dollar store Shasta, huge cases of Shasta for cheap, and you'd shake them up, pop them with a pen, and throw them in the middle of the group, and they would just spray them with soda, and they'd get so pissed, and they couldn't catch us because we were fast for our age, but also because there's so many places to run and hide, and it was just something we did at least once a week, and they hated us, and there was a group, and it was some kids who showed us to do it, and then we did it, we showed other kids, and it was like a thing we just did, and it used to bring me so much joy.
It seems like a fun place to
a few kids got caught and got their ass kicked, but
literally they were murdered.
Yeah, I mean, never seen again.
Did you see any like crazy stage mom stuff that you can recall?
Totally. I mean, so my mom wasn't a saver, so she pretty much just stayed put and did her own thing. But you would see moms like, first off, they would fish all the time. Like they would ask, like in the beginning of class, sometimes moms would be like, "Hey Ryan, what are you up to? What have you been auditioning?" You know, like I knew what they were doing, but you just say, "Oh, nothing. I don't have. It's been slow." You know.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But that's the depressing part of Oakwoods. To me, it's like the kids seemed like a great time, but the depressing part is the parents.
I mean, there's some kids that are bad too. There's some apples that we didn't enjoy. It was just the weirdest place. I can't even. There's nothing to describe the Oakwood. The documentary doesn't do it. At least not when I was
crazy.
There, because it was just crazy. And you know, you had teachers. You had these teachers for our school that some like half of them cared and half of them didn't. So someone would just give you the answers. You'd be like, "Well, I don't understand." They'd be like, "Well, here's what it is."
Right?
Because they're not held accountable. They don't care.
Yeah.
And some of them would be like mean and like watch you. But there were times where we'd just sneak out and go play or go run around and then come back and they wouldn't know because the class was so large. And there were times when it got smaller and they tried to crack down on that.
When you came out here for the pilot season, did that feel like a vacation to you or did that feel like work? How did you view it?
It was just part of the thing I did. Craziest thing, like this is what is so frustrating because I remember what pilot season used to be. It used to be 3 to 4 auditions a day.
Wow.
And constantly things would be getting canceled because you'd get a call back and then you'd have to cancel the one that after and that'd get pushed the next day. And I just remember I used to be really good at memorizing lines. And that's what's crazy. I don't know if I've formed bad habits over the years, but when I was younger, I used to be able to remember so much information a lot quicker because if I didn't memorize it, my mom wouldn't let me go out and play. So I would crush 3-4 auditions as quick as possible, know it, and not just know it really good because I'd have to run it with my mom. My mom wouldn't let me slack off. And then I could go out and play basketball or I could go out and, go play with my friends. And it was just crazy. Like it was, so when pilot season comes and, you're lucky to have an audition a week, you're like, what the heck?
Yeah.
But it's just because I'll always remember how it was when I was younger. And it was bananas. Like it was for 2 months, it was nuts. And you were just slammed. And then now it's good living in Los Angeles now because now the auditions are spread out throughout the year.
Right.
But
that's crazy to think you went on 3 or 4 at a time.
dude, it was, there were days where I had 6 auditions.
That's
I have
insane.
friends, we laugh about it. Like, dude, you remember when now we're like, hey, when's the last time you had an audition? They're like 2 weeks ago. I'm like, remember when we had 6 a day and we were like, handle it like nothing?
That's
now,
so
now if
crazy.
you have 2 a day, people freak out. They're like, can you make one Friday? I need one Monday and one Friday. Back then I was like, I had 6 today, 3 tomorrow, the next day, it was nuts.
Isn't that funny too? Because it seems like there's more content now than ever.
It's just spread out. That's the thing. It's spread out. But back then it was just pilot season was literally pilot season. 2 months of just nonstop craziness. And it was fun because you would see, it was also bad because you'd start seeing kids disappear and you knew they booked something, or you'd hear about it, or if you didn't hear about it, they were just not at audition. When I was younger, I used to see the same kids over and over and over and over.
Oh, yeah.
And you just start seeing them dwindling. And it was always fun if you were the kid that was gone first. You're like, later, suckers. Have fun.